Here we go. We've got little brushes. These things right here. These. Hi, it's me, Jennifer, from Little Metal Foxes.
And Julia,
And Julia.
little metal boxes.
Hi, Julia. How are you today?
I'm good.
Right. So I've got something that I am very excited about because you introduced me to these, and I love these things. They are amazing. And while we were in Barcelona, we were visiting Valle, uh,
Mhm.
which is a jewelry resource company, a jewelry tool company in Barcelona. We met our friend Jana Braddock there, and who introduced us to the place. It's very close to Sagrada Familia, which was very fun, and kind of walked over from there. But it's in the shadow of the amazing cathedral. So, but they have some amazing tools, and you had introduced me to these fabulous little brass
I think
file holders.
it's this one, right? Like, didn't I get you one of these when I got you some files? Don't you have one?
No,
I am almost certain that I got you one of these when I gave you files as a gift.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure, but
right.
maybe I didn't. I thought I did.
But I'll take a look. But we got these while we were in Barcelona, and I really like these because they have two different coarsenesses. One's a little finer, one's a little coarser, but
Mhm.
they also are kind of adjustable. So you can slide the little,
This is what I love about them.
yeah,
Is
you can slide that up and down. So you can make this a little stiffer or a little looser, depending on, how coarse your files are, how much you need to get in there. And the woman who was helping us was one of the
one of
daughters,
the owners. Yeah, she's the owner now, I think.
the daughter of one of the founders of Valle. So she was actually helping us with these, and she was telling me that she actually has some people that like to use these for wax texture as well, which I thought, oh, well, that's kind of cool. That's nice double use. And anytime you can use a tool for more than one thing, you know,
Right, right. They're
uh,
super inexpensive. These were like, I don't know, €3 or €4, I think.
yeah,
So, they're in the under $5 range. So I would say if I were a wax worker, I would want to get one that was dedicated to wax so that I didn't run the risk of having metal filings,
transfer
in here
wax.
they
Yeah,
transfer the wax.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I was like, I mean, the one that I have from here, which I got from Auto Fry, is not terribly expensive. I think it was more than $5, but I've had this one for years. Jane Martin turned me on to these.
yeah.
I think I gave you one. Let's see. Um, and I've used this one for years and loved it. But uh, one of the things I am not in love with is actually the fact that it has bristles on both ends, because as the bristles get bent and get used, they start to stick out, and so then when you're grabbing it, you have those sharp, pointy little bits of the bristles sticking into your fingers potentially.
Yeah. Well, and the nice thing about this is that you can kind of slide this up, trim it or file it down, and then slide it down again. So you don't have that like mushrooming on the end, which is kind of nice.
Their side of it doesn't, there are no bristles here. Like, this is made by a very long piece of wire that's had a center section wrapped around it and then folded in half and put this over it.
Right,
So
right.
I think
These are,
it's a pretty cool little design. So
actually, it is. You probably could make something like this using some, tubing, and just squish it, to hold the wire in there. But hey, if you got them, use them. So, but I want
at
to
least
do
we have one version of this that you can get in the States, because I know Auto Fry carries these.
right.
Um, but I really would love it if somebody, in the US would carry these. And what I was saying to you was, it's really interesting. Sometimes you have to travel and go someplace else and look at what tools other people have to even find out, what is not available to you.
Right, right.
Travel can, in addition to letting you taste new food and smell new smells and hear new sounds and meet new people, you can find new tools.
Cool. Yeah, find wherever you travel, find the jewelry supply studio or shop and see what they've got. So I've got some of my files here, and I was really kind of saving these for our tooltip, so I really hadn't used them until now. So one of the things that I know a lot of people will have with their files are card file cleaners that are similar to this one. A lot of them are mounted on wood. These are very inexpensive. They're, this was like $2. So, but it's, mounted in plastic, and they're kind of like those bent dog fur combs, that kind of break.
Combs, yeah.
And so fine steel, but these I've always used to kind of clean my files out, especially good for, cleaning out files that are for whack, right? Kind of brush them out. But these are, fantastic. But I've had other metalsmiths say they don't like using these simply because they are concerned about using steel on steel and damaging their file cut, especially for their, really expensive files. So this is such a great alternative solution because it's really not going to, hurt your files. And with this, just, scrubbing it back and forth in that, in the line of the cut of the file will take out, that any metal that might be trapped. And if you're using like the stiffer one, it's really kind of good because you can get down in there and just kind of pulling it out or brushing across it to get any loose bits of stuff. What do you call it? Pegged? When it gets pegged or pinned?
Pinned is the official word for when something is, when there are bits of metal that are caught under the teeth of the file. Is pinned.
Yeah. So with this, I've just got my magnet on my bench pen here, so I can kind of keep my
that's smart.
With them. Yeah. And but yeah, kind of roll that over and give it a good scrub. So that way it's kind of, not going to go anyplace and wander around.
No, it's good call. Yeah. Now sometimes even a brush like the one you've got there, like if the teeth on the file are pretty big, then something like, this little brush should get the bits out. But sometimes with the finer files, they get and gummier metal, right? So copper tends to be a pretty gummy metal. And so if you work a lot with copper and brass, your file can get pinned pretty easily. And once it gets pinned, in other words, once it's got metal stuck under the teeth, not only does it not cut, but it can actually gouge your metal, right? Like it actively works against you in the filing arena, as opposed to simply not working. It's actually, potentially doing the wrong thing. So it behooves us to figure out ways to quickly and efficiently clean our files. So sometimes you can get a situation where there's enough stuck in there that these little brushes won't remove it. And then you have to take, I have a little piece of copper that I use that I'll just like run it along the teeth of the file to pick out the really stubborn bits, right? Once if they get bad.
Relatively coarse file, you can use something like, a needle to be able to kind of, slide through.
Right.
Take those
needles are steel as well. So again,
and it's really
but if you're doing it gently, it should be fine. I've used dental picks as well because they have a really fine point for the same purpose.
One of the things that I will do when I'm working, especially with in wax, and this works fine for when you're working in metal, is to use like a silicone spray mold release, and that also kind of help the wax from sticking to your files and make it a little bit easier to clean. But it also lubricates it and allows it to work a little bit better over the long run. So, so this has been really good for kind of getting these guys clean and back in shape and cutting properly along that edge. So thanks, Julia, for introducing me to these tools.
Thank you, Martin, for introducing me to them. I had always been frustrated by the dog brush version because they never really worked, and I'm like,
Yeah, the problem is that if you're brushing steel on steel, it just, anytime you're brushing, steel on steel, you're going to get some, magnetic sort of buildup as well, potentially. So, and potentially getting more little bits of steel in with your pieces, which can contaminate your metal while you're working. So, this is great because it kind of pulls off any scrap with a little, magnet on the side. But, Anyway, but I did want to show you with the wax itself.
Hmm.
I had
Yeah,
some
so this was the lovely woman. I forget. I don't know that I ever knew her name. The owner of Del Valle
uh,
commented that this could be used for for like doing a patina. Like if you've done a patina on metal and you want to rub back some of the patina and get kind of a soft look, this is a good way to do it too. Was one of her comments.
yeah. So, and if you've got, a patina that you're doing that with, you may want to use a little water as a lubricant. But on wax in particular, she was saying that this can provide a really, kind of interesting kind of texture. So if
Mhm.
you're it's sort of a satin finish, and giving it kind of a scrub or a scrub, it kind of takes that wax down and gives you that nice kind of bristled finish, which is nice. So
Hold it up to the.
yeah.
It's hard to see it. Can you tip it so that the light is against the?
Um, um,
I can see it a little bit. I can see a little bit of the scratches. It's
yeah,
nice. It's very subtle.
takes it down from sort of that shine. And a lot of times with the brass brushes and softer brushes like this, you can actually take out some deeper scratches
Hmm.
with a little brass bristle brush like this or a little glass brush, which is kind of nice because you can
So
just
it
sort
kind of equalizes the surface and puts a fine scratch brush texture on the surface. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So kind of going along with the scratch and kind of takes it down to that
Hmm.
kind of evens it out and then change the direction slightly
Hmm.
so that you're kind of crossing it
Hmm. Hmm.
and then change the direction slightly again. So I usually change it about 45 degrees.
Hmm. Makes sense.
And so that'll completely smooth that scratch right out of there.
Nice.
So
And then
that,
nice
it's,
little texture on the rest of the surface.
yeah. And so, I mean, this, you can easily polish up now that it's, kind of all evened out a little bit better. But,
Hmm.
but yeah, there you go. So, and I've got a little wax in the brush, which is fine for the files. It's not going to hurt the files at all. But in cleaning up my wax, I want to make sure I don't have any of those metal bits in there. So, anyway, there you have it. There is my tool tip for today. There we go. Hi. Great. So yeah, little brass brushes.
I have this little piece of copper, which is this little scrap of copper that I use for the really stubborn bits because there often are, I can show you if you want me to with the document camera.
Because I know sometimes you can file backwards with a piece of brass.
Hmm.
Bag stuff out too.
Let's see here. See if this is going to go. Whoops. I don't
Hello.
know why. I don't know why it didn't share. Let's try that again. There it is. Okay, so you can see this file actually is pretty badly pinned.
Oh, look at that.
So it's got quite a lot of stuff in it. And so then this will take off some of it. Brace my hand. I should put it down and do what you were doing, where I brace it against the bench. Let me get this down closer to it. So this will take off some of it. Remove some of it, but sometimes like this patch here, it can be really stubborn if it's like really dug in under there. So
Oh,
this is just a scrap of copper. Literally, it's just a scrap of copper sheet, and it's not even, let's see, what thickness is it? It's a scrap of 16 gauge copper sheet that was just left over from something.
yeah.
And all you want to do is just run it along the line. You can see the line of the file teeth is going this way and this way, right? So you have to kind of go in line with the teeth,
Oh, lift
and
it right.
it will lift it right out. You got to get the angle right. Once you get the angle right and you get the point of it just the right shape. I had it just a minute ago and then it's not grabbing.
Well,
Um,
and two, I mean, for really stubborn stuff, you can flick it out with a needle.
right.
So that's another good way to kind of make sure you've got
Yeah,
lots out.
I was practicing with this and I had them coming out, and then,
Yeah.
the minute I try to do it on camera, it's not doing it.
Well, once you get the grooves into the brass, or
The copper, yeah, that's part of it, is that you have to get, there we go. See,
uh,
once you get the shape of the end right, then it will lift stuff right out.
but when it starts filing the teeth into your brass, there you go. Yeah.
It's fine. That's what it's supposed to do. But yes, that is the idea. You can see it once you catch it.
Yeah, it takes a little work, but you know what? Save your files, and and it gets really frustrating when you're,
Yeah.
working a file and it's just not working. So,
But yeah, you can see that this is now
oh yeah.
improved. I would have to do a little more work to get like that. This batch, this clump right here is really being difficult.
You're gonna be stuck doing this for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I know it's one of those OCD things that once you get started, you're like, God damn it, I got to get it out of there. And this is annoying me that I'm on camera and it won't do it either.
Well, and it's the thing too that people have to, when they're working on stuff, they're going to have to like work at it. And like I said, I usually have, when I'm doing that, I always have like a really fine, sharp needle that I can kind of like, and just pop it out if I have to.
I know this is like, God damn it, really annoying.
Well, there you go, people. Cleaning up your files, keeping them fresh.
Yep.
Fresh files. There you go. Little brass brushes. So, hey, check out our other tool tips.
They're like 150.
There are like 150 of them. And make sure you like and hit the subscribe button, and you'll know when we're live. We've got all kinds of good stuff. And let's see, Bonnie Kyles. Hi there. Where did you find that skinny brass brush? Well, Bonnie, we found it in Barcelona, but with Julia found this in
You got an auto fry.
oh, right.
I just looked online and they do have a version of this on Amazon. It looks like they come in packs of, I don't know how many. So we'll put a link to that.
Right.
Let's see, how many is in the pack? Maybe it's just three. Three in a pack for $12. And they look very much like the ones.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly like it. Yeah.
So I'll put a link to that in the description on this video.
Fantastic.
And the auto fry as well. So
here you go, Bonnie. Yay. So yeah, these are really good. And like I said, there seemed like there was two courses and a couple of different links that were available when they had them just sort of piled in a bin. And I was like, these two. So yeah. Anyway, we all got a little handful of tools while we were at Valle. So thank you to Valle and to Jana Brevick for introducing us to them. So.
Absolutely. It was really fun to get to see the local tool place.
Yeah. There you go. So, Bonnie, did you have any other questions? Let us know. We're always happy to answer those questions.
Always email us at info@littlemetalfluxes.com, and we will all three see it, and one of us will answer.
That's right. And if you have any other questions or you need help on projects that are upcoming, Open Studio Access is a great way to get immediate feedback. If you're working on projects, it's just to have a time where you can just stop in, ask questions, get some info, some technical help, or if you just want to kind of hang out with us in the studio while you're working and have some other people that are also metalsmiths working in their studios and chatting. It's kind of like crowdsourcing all your questions and information, but also getting really good one-on-one mentoring.
You get answers from people who know what they're talking about, and then you also get get to get suggestions. It's always good to have other people's eyes on your project. It's always fun.
Julia, did you say you found that link on Amazon?
I did. I'll put it in the description for this video.
Okay, there you go. All right. So yeah, just find it there. And thanks everybody for watching, and check out the other tool tips. We'll see you next week. Bye.
God, I'm so annoyed that it wouldn't do it on camera. Now I'm just like, God